Do you guys remember when I crocheted an entire wedding dress for my wedding? And it took a million years to do, but I finished it and I ended up wearing it on my big day? Well, if you thought that that was delusional, you are correct. And now to add more fuel to the fire, I am deciding to crochet another wedding dress for my best friend who's getting married in 2027. And the kicker is, while she does know that I'm doing this for her, she doesn't know what it's gonna look like. She doesn't really want to know what it's gonna look like. Without further ado, I will not bore you with more of an intro because I do talk a lot in this video. So here's part one of me making another crochet wedding dress. I feel like it's been such a while since I filmed literally anything, and this makes sense for me to just be back in my crafting room in pajamas. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, just making sure that I focus on me. Like right now, I'm just sewing a little dress for myself, not filming any of it, and I've been doing that a lot this holiday season. Today is also December 24th, so it is Christmas Eve, which is when I'm deciding to start this whole project. I want to make a dress for my friend Destiny. Now, it's not going to be her actual wedding dress. Don't come for me. I've had so many comments when I was making my own crochet wedding dress. I actually wore mine at my wedding, so if you are curious about that and how I made that one, and this is your first time watching my videos, then definitely go watch that. My friend Destiny, however, is very different, so I'm gonna have to conceptualize something because she's not gonna want that sort of like princess cut and straight waistline. I think she prefers something that's a little bit more V-shaped, and she likes to be snatched. I'm sort of conceptualizing, and I think that I'm going to build a corset, so sew a corset, and then overlay some crochet lacing on top of it. She also really likes pearls, and she likes everything to be sort of dainty. So I'm gonna see what I can do with that. I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm not too sure where this is gonna go. But I feel like with me, if I just kind of like start, then I'm gonna let it take me where it takes me. All right, so I ended up getting this. It's called the Sheer Base Corset by Mannequin. I don't know how to say that, but I just figured this would be a nice clean slate to start with. It has decent reviews, which is pretty good, but look what I found. This is by the same seller. It's the asymmetrical scallop corset, and oh, not for this, but for another project, I may have to make this because it's beautiful. Also, if you're wondering about measurements, I am sort of winging it. We do have very similar measurements. She is model proportions. She's very tall and lean, but we do fit in the same clothes. I have made a dress for her before, so I'm gonna sort of base myself off of that. And I think I used like a size smaller, extra small, and then I had to take it in quite a bit. So I'm gonna go with the smallest size. Worst case, I'm just thinking it is a corset, so I'll probably just be able to tighten it or loosen it if we need to. All right, it's a new day. Actually, it's Christmas today. So if you guys are celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas, although you're probably gonna see this in a couple of months. Here's what I got yesterday. To Fabricland, and hi. I got this kind of like satin cording, bridal satin. You can kind of see it. I don't want to unfold the whole thing. And I got for the overlay this sort of like sheer lining. I don't know if you can tell how see-through that is. And of course, I got some bra cups. I also printed out the pattern and cut it so that I can start kind of doing a little bit of a mock-up. I did get a lot of the fabric that I was just showing you, so we'll see. And last thing, this morning I finished sewing myself this super beautiful dress. You can't see it. So the plan for today is to get started on cutting out the fabric and sort of sewing the corset. And then I think that I'm gonna do some lace like overlay pieces and sew them directly onto the corset once it's done, perhaps. Second thing here is that Destiny is actually coming over tonight. We're celebrating Christmas together. She has a layover. She's a pilot as well, so she has a layover where I live, and we will get to celebrate Christmas together, which is awesome. Depending on how much I get done, I might just try, just for sizing, to get her to try on the corset and play it off as though I'm making her something else. Destiny and I are close enough that if she hates this, she can just tell me and I'm not gonna be hurt about it. And she doesn't have to wear it. I'm not gonna be hurt about that either. It's just a fun little keepsake, something that I worked on for her. Wow, my glasses are tinting. Whether it's to be put in a box, donated, or whatever, it's just something that I'm crafting and that I'm making regardless, so it's not that serious. All right, here's all my pieces, and now it's time to assemble. Here's where I got to. So far. So just a little halfway kind of explanation of what I'm doing. Ignore that there's darts in these cups because that's probably gonna go away. Also, I think that the space between the boobs might be a little too large, so I might just slice this in half. And when I add the boning, I'm just gonna put another seam here kind of thing. Here's what I'm doing for the boning. So I'm creating boning channels out of the bridal satin. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I'm sewing them to the outside of the piece. So actually, you can tell here, I'm sewing wrong sides together so that the seams are on the outside. And then I'm gonna just sew my boning on top of the seams. And what that does is that the inside has no seam. So it's comfortable and flat against the body. Here has a raw edge. I'm gonna be putting some of the bridal satin here to create sort of like an under wire support sort of situation. Here I've got some bridal satin that I paired with interfacing and just the lining fabric. And that way it's gonna be thicker when I go in to put the grommets. All right, I think I'm gonna call it with the sewing for today, but here's where I'm at. So I did put quite a bit of boning in there. I'll show you a better angle. All right, so obviously it's not finished. Like all of these edges have to be finished at the top. But I did put the bridal satin, I suppose, on the bottom of the cups, and then I finished a whole bunch more of the boning. I will finally start crocheting. It's just I don't know which yarn to use. This is way too white. This is super soft though. I think it's like, oh my god, it's covered in hair. It's like a bamboo yarn that I've had in my stash for a while, but the best color combination that I have is actually the yarn that I used for my own wedding. This is the yarn that I had used for my wedding, and I feel like that's sort of the best match. However, it is definitely a little bit more brown than that like ivory bridal satin. Oh, look how clean my lines are. I don't really want to just like mess around with that because it is expensive, but I did find this, which I think is from Polka Dot Creek yarn. Pretty decent color match. You can't really tell with this light. It came in a kit to make a gnome, but I think I'm gonna play around with this. All right, it's day 3, and yes, I'm wearing the same thing. And I am going to wash my hair today. It's just, when you're a pilot and you're home for 3 days, if you could be in your pajamas for 3 days, great. But I just dropped off Destiny. It is now 7:30 p.m. She, like I said, spent Christmas with me last night, and then we just kind of had like a sleepover, lazy sort of vibe, and just relaxed together all day today, which was amazing. Which brings me into my next point. I did get started on some things. First off, I added bias tape to the top here with the satin. It's not perfect, but it'll get covered. I also decided that it would be really cool to add pearls to this. So, like an entire beaded sort of cup. But I went to Michael's and I couldn't find any beads that were smaller. This is way too big already. I want things that are like super tiny. So I have to wait for those to come in the mail. And I really don't want to glue them on. Like I want this to be nice and sturdy, so I will sew them on. Okay, on to the crochet. These are in my flight bag because I have to go work tomorrow, but I tried my very best this morning at teaching myself Irish lace. And you know what? This is a decent start. You can't see because I ran out of yarn. I will be frogging this because I don't like the way that this flower looks for this project, but I do like the way that this flower looks. And here's one that I made that I actually really quite like, so I might try and make another one like this. I do fly to Victoria, BC tomorrow, so we stay in a little town called Sydney actually, and there is a yarn store, so if it's open, I'm gonna go see if I can get more of that sort of lace weight cotton. And the last thing that I want to touch upon for today, and then I promise hopefully the background will be different when I update you next. She did try it on. It does fit very well. The only thing is there's a gap at the back, but the front fits well. It is very cinching on the waist, so happy about that. And she does know, so she was kind of like helping me, well, not helping me brainstorm, but I was pitching ideas and she was like, oh yeah, that would be cool. So she knows, but she won't really like see what it looks like. Another day and finally a different location. I was not able to go shopping on my layover because I didn't have a layover. If you can avoid travel during the holiday season, that's all I'm gonna say. But carrying on, I did go to the yarn store today and here's what I picked up. I was trying to find the best match possible for this yarn that I had been using, the one that I've been making these cute little flowers with, am I showing you the back? Yes, I am. Starting off with this. Oops. This is Malabrigo Silk Paca in the color Natural. It is lace weight, and it is 70% baby alpaca and 30% silk. So here's what this looks like. And here's what it looks like in comparison to the yarn that I've been using. So not too different. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's just maybe a little more dull in color than this one. This one has a little bit more shine. Next up, I got this Ito or Ito. It is Japanese. It is the Kinu 100% silk. And this one is also definitely a lace weight. That's kind of all the information that it gives me. But again, here's what that looks like in comparison. So probably just a tiny bit thinner than this, which is nice. So I'm gonna try to use this with a smaller hook size. Then we've got the Mirasol in the color Pearl. 64% viscose and 36% baby alpaca. It is also lace weight, but what I love about this one is it's got that sheen. It really resembles the Katia yarn that I used for my own wedding dress. The only thing is that, don't know if you guys can see, but because it is alpaca, it's got all these little strands on it. So that's the only thing that throws me off a little bit from this one. And last but not least, I got this, which, oh, did you just yawn? Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Anyway, I got this one from Amazon. So because I got it online, the color definitely is not a match, as you can see. Oh my gosh, are we breathing so deeply? Okay, I'm gonna have to take a petting break. I'm gonna go wind those up and start making the same flower with all of them. Maybe different hook sizes just so we can see, and we'll see what looks best, or if we can use all of them. I'm thinking if they look pretty similar but slightly different, or maybe with different hook sizes, it would look cool just to add some variation on there, but let's do it. Oh, you're so sweet. Update, so I'm using this, which is the alpaca blend, with my teeny tiny number 2 millimeter hook. Anyway, I don't know if you guys can see. Let me try and get you guys up real close. But this is super incredibly hard to see. So this is the back. And I need to try and get some stitches in through like the back of the single crochets. It's gonna be a little bit harder than I thought that it would. The alpaca makes it very hard to see, and the teeniness makes it very hard to see. So wish me luck. Here's the original one that I did. Here's the difference. I don't know if you guys can see. This is the Eco. It is really nice and defined and teeny weeny. And then lastly, we've got this one, which is that sort of alpaca blend. It looks a little interesting because of how fuzzy it is. Also, I cannot find pearls that are small enough for the life of me, so I think what I'm gonna do today is just use this thread to sew the dart shut, like nice and flat. Remove this pearl, and then I'm probably just going to have to glue them on. Alright, this has been a pain in the butt. So I'm using my gem tack, which I actually used on my original crochet wedding dress, and these that came in from Amazon. Still don't know if I like them. Here's kind of where I've got to within an hour before running out of patience. I did fill up this little like crack where the dart was. You can see on the other side where I sewed it shut, and the only reason that I sewed it shut is so that the beads would lay flat. That's sort of what I did here. I didn't do as good of a job on it, but it's not looking bad. Like, this will look pretty cool once it's done. It's also January 1st right now, so I've definitely kicked off my year with crafting, which is good for me. It's exactly what I want. I don't know if I even like this corset. Part of me wants to sort of like redo it, so I don't know. There is a good chance at this point that I'm gonna do two dresses. We do have another problem, and that is patterning the skirt, because I have no idea what I want to do yet. So I don't know if I want to make this tight or if I want to make it like a short flowy thing. And here is what I'm thinking. So I was sort of thinking, this is the fold. I was gonna just trace along this curve and then measure out how much more I would need for the waist and a seam allowance for the zipper kind of thing, because this does not close on either side. Thankfully, I didn't actually cut it out of the fabric, because this is definitely not as flowy as I would want it to. This is just the fabric that I typically use for patterning. It's super, super, super cheap. Not the shape I want. Through many struggles, I finally got it up on my mannequin. Now, take this with a grain of salt, because the mannequin, unfortunately, doesn't have actual boobs, and so the push-up bra doesn't really fit there. which is slightly frustrating because I can't get this high enough. It's supposed to sit up here, which is a little bit unfortunate. And the mannequin doesn't actually have hips. I just gave it a little bit more booty and a little bit more waist. So this looks a little bit more proportionate. And here's what it looks like from the back. So it is nice, but like I said, I'm gonna have to probably do some sort of overskirt that connects here with a zipper if I'm gonna continue with this idea. That is, unfortunately. Also, I forgot to put any boning on this side, so I will have to go in and fix that, unfortunately. I did, however, pin some of these flowers onto it, and it does look really nice like that. Why is the hue of the camera so blue right now? This might look really cool when the pearls are all filled in. I don't know. I'm scared that it just won't fit and it'll look ugly and badly sewn. It's March 1st now, and there's been no progress. If you've been keeping up on socials, you may have seen that I started trying some Irish lace, and this is the most that I've gotten out of it. I tried other pieces, but I scrapped them. This is how much I got done of the beading, but I hate it. I really hate it. I'm gonna have to scrap this and start it all over again. I have my ideas this time. I think that there's a better way that I could do this, and I want to make a more cohesive, more flat lay lace, like crochet lacing on it, just so that it looks more like a crochet wedding dress and not just like a sewn sort of hybrid, which it still will be because I want to give it that structure that my wedding dress lacked. But yeah, I hate this. I'm gonna scrap it. There's too many mistakes on it, and it's been long enough. Like, I just took a break from working on it. It's been long enough that I'm just gonna stop working on it. I've come to terms with scrapping it. Also, I tried doing some I-cord lacing on the back with the Eco yarn, and it actually looked really cool. It's just I don't feel like doing it right now because this is getting scrapped. Goodbye. Say goodbye to it. So if you guys want to see me complete a wedding dress, I definitely will. I'm not giving up on this idea. I'm just giving up on that idea specifically. That's all. But stay tuned for part 2. I'm gonna keep vlogging this if you guys want me to, but when you see me, I'm gonna have a completely different idea. So yeah, I'm in way over my head with this, I think. It's just been kind of discouraging. I haven't been able to pick up a crochet hook. I haven't been wanting to pick up a crochet hook in the last little while. So I thought this would revive that sort of crochet passion that I had. So far it has not. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any ideas on what I should do, definitely comment below. Stay tuned for part 2, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.